And let's see. Oh my God, how do I do this again? Oh Lord, help me. All right, so first and foremost, guys, my name is John Limdimas, and we're back again with another new episode of the Hustle Factory Podcast Show. How's everybody doing today, guys? What do you guys, what you guys been up to lately? Whatever it is, just please go ahead and comment down below. And as of today, right now, I'm recording this episode with my guest here, so we're gonna get to know him more and so on. And first and foremost, guys, if you're new in this podcast as well, I welcome you. In this podcast, I talk about different things like entrepreneurial things, motivational rants, and there's some bonus contents as well. And from time to time, I'll do some interview episodes like what I'm doing right now, which is called Hustle and Chill, and that's gonna be the name of this series that I'm trying to reinvent all over again. So other than that, guys, and if you guys may be noticing something different here, that's because I'm not using the StreamYard, and I actually want to start branching out on other platforms like Discord. I know I've done this in the past, but I wasn't very knowledgeable on that end. So, and we're gonna get started in a bit. So now that we got everything out of the introduction out of the way, I usually try to like promote a product. I usually promote on my podcast, but I won't be doing it on this interview episodes because I don't want to take up all the time. Other than that, I'm gonna try to connect. All right, we got it. Sorry about that, guys. A little bit of technical difficulties and all that. I mean, like I said back then, you're never too old to learn new things and all that.
Technology keeps evolving every day, man.
That's right. First and foremost, hey there, Lois. What's going on lately, man?
Not too much. Just like, living the normal life, working, streaming, working, streaming. That's all I
Right,
do
right.
now.
And honestly, I don't think there's nothing wrong with normal living. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that at all.
Mm-mm. I mean, all of us have like normal lives. I mean, we have
Oh
like,
yeah, that's right.
we have like our streaming, like, that we have to take care of. But I mean, some people don't understand that, like, that we actually are real human beings. Like, we actually have a real world out there instead of the streaming world.
Oh, I get that. I get that. To just get episode started, you just go ahead and let the listeners know who are you and what exactly do you do.
So my name is LuisIPA. It's not LPA. I know you said LPA, and
Oh
I
God.
didn't want to correct it, but it's actually IPA, not LPA. Trust me, I get a lot of people like when I actually go hang out with streamers and everything. They always think, wait, it's Louis LPA or Louis IPA. I'm like, it's IPA, like that beer keg. I'm like, it's an IPA. But Twitch is just so inconsistent when it comes to names that I could not even lowercase the I. So some people like get confused, and I mean it's hard to like fix it sometime. But to summarize myself, I mean I've been affiliate for 4 years on Twitch. I do a variety of games from retro games to battle royales. I basically run a podcast as well, like you do, and
Right.
basically like just play with my community, interact with everybody, get to know people. And I hope to one day like do it as a full-time thing. But I mean for now, I work at a restaurant right now doing a bar assistant and basically like helping around the front of the house and the back of the house with everything they need. But whenever I'm home, I'm basically just going into the streaming world, and that's like my escape from reality, like from the real world.
Hey, that's not a bad thing, Lois. It really isn't. But you know what? Right off the bat, Lois, what actually got you started streaming in the first place? What's the whole story? And I feel like every time I'll interview a streamer or a content creator and all that, I'll always ask them that question, like, what got you started in the first place?
That's actually a good question. So, what actually really got me started streaming was actually one of my best friends that actually lived here before in my same state, but he
Right.
actually moved away. He basically started streaming on Twitch, and we were working together at the time at GameStop. And he literally told me like, hey, I do live streaming on Twitch. I was like, what is Twitch? I don't know what that is. And he told me like, oh, it's a live platform, kind of like YouTube, but you basically can watch people play games live and you don't have to like pay membership to watch. I was like, oh, that sounds interesting. I'll download it and check you out. And that day that I went check him out, I saw that he was like live streaming. He had like his chat going. He had like people come in chat and everything. I was like, oh, this actually looks really fun. I'm actually kind of interested in trying it. And we talked about it the next day at work, and he told me like, oh, it's easy. All you need is a game system, and then basically like you go live with it, and you don't need a camera, you don't need nothing. All you need is a game system. So it's because of him that basically like I was able to actually have like a PlayStation 4, and I was able to
Right.
actually basically start streaming, and that's when everything started taking off. And next thing you know, after like 1 week of doing it consistently, I became affiliate instantly because back then Twitch wasn't as oversaturated as it is now. I mean, with so many people, which is understandable now because so many people lost their jobs through the pandemic,
Right,
COVID, and
right.
all this
That makes
stuff.
sense.
So basically, like, now we have so many different streamers, but I mean, it's just amazing, like, how, like, you go from a platform that had like a little bit of people to now, like, basically there's millions and millions of streamers out there. And I gotta tell you, like, it's actually, I find it like a family, like a second family. Every time I actually go
I
live
agree.
and basically, like, I see my friends come in, they come hang out and everything. They're like, dude, you've grown so much. Like, you basically grew from having, like, only one follower all the way to almost 4,000 followers, just like that, like in 4 years. And like, they always ask me, like, how do you feel? I'm like, honestly, I feel like, that I've accomplished a lot, but that's not where my journey is gonna end. I'm still gonna go. I'm still gonna do it until, like, I actually find myself, like, okay, this is, like, where I'll stop. But I mean, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon.
Right, exactly. It's all about the process, the grind, and that's just part of the story, guys. Whatever type of content creator you are, just know that there's always a grind behind it. And if you're not willing to put some work in my honest opinion, you do not deserve to follow the path of becoming a content creator because it's not an easy thing to do in reality. There's a lot of sacrifices you have to do in order to get on. Oh,
To
hell
build
no.
Rome.
Hell no. Definitely.
So basically, like, they don't understand. They're like, they think that everything's gonna fall right on their lap. I'm like, you know what? If you think that everything's gonna fall on your lap, you're not gonna succeed in the platform. You need to, first of all, have a brand, like actually have an idea of what you want to do. Stream the games that you actually love to do, like to play. Don't play games that you think, like, that just because the big time streamers are playing it, that it's gonna get you people to come in. Play games that you actually have fun, because viewers and people that come watch you, they see the way you actually acting on the camera, and they actually see, like, oh, this guy actually looks interesting to watch because he's actually
Right.
talking, he seems optimistic, he seems very interactive with his chat. I want to actually hang out with him. And that's how you actually build a community, by just coming like that. But not only that, you also need to network and build connections with people. A lot of people think that you can be successful by not getting to know people. No, you actually need to build bridges between people, connect with people, interact with people, and that's what actually makes you grow on Twitch.
See there, Lewis, you just spoke everything that I want to mention, all in that, and you're just right on spot on, man. Like, that's what most of the people out there do not understand about the whole content creator process is that, like I said earlier, there's a process behind it. And like I said, if you're not willing to put some work on it, you might as well just start working on a restaurant or like at a McDonald's and just do that.
You'd be surprised. I mean, some people actually think that you don't have to sacrifice things, but I mean, you have to in order to succeed. Any kind of thing, I mean, no matter what you're doing. If you sacrifice, like, the important things to actually do better things, you're gonna get the better things at the end. And then the people that actually aren't true to you are always gonna be behind you 100% all the time.
Exactly. And I mean, anytime I hear someone, oh, I'm gonna be the next ninja. Oh, I'm gonna be the next Pokemon. I'm gonna be selling this. Oh my god, like, well, what are they selling now? Like this bat water? I mean, listen, guys, I'm not like beefing with you guys. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
I can't stand listening where, oh, I'm gonna be the next ninja, and then the next they're gonna be saying, oh my gosh, why am I getting only one viewer? What's going on?
They don't understand that we all started with one viewer. Like, some people even started, like, I've seen people like been not being affiliate for years, and they still grinding at it because they enjoy doing it. I mean, that's the main purpose of doing streaming. I mean, most people think that they can actually get everything in one day. Like, they're like, oh, I can make millions in one day. No, you can't. I'm sorry to bring you down, like, to everybody that thinks that, but you need to actually work hard in order to succeed. It's just like any other job. You bust your butt to actually get a promotion every time you work.
I agree.
And that's just how Twitch is. It's a grind, but I mean, not only should you just focus on yourself, focus on building friendships. I have so many people that I've been knowing for so many years. I can give you an example. One of my close friends, his name is Ivan. He actually had been following my channel since I actually created my channel on Twitch. Until this day, he still supports me. He still comes back every almost every day, like, hey, how you doing? How's everything going? Literally, like, that's what it's about. Just building connections with people, like people that actually are always there for you. And the real ones will always come back and actually talk to you. And sorry about my voice, but it's just that I have like a sore throat, so it's kind of hard for me to talk a little
Right,
bit.
right, right. Yeah, it's all good, man. Just try the best ability. I mean, honestly, it's like I don't know, Lois. Like sometimes this is one of those things that kind of makes me a little bit insane. Sometimes, like if you're not willing to put up the work, then like I said, just stop doing this because it's not gonna be worth. Another thing that really irritates the hell out of me is the fact they're doing this for the sake of money, and I'm like, I'm sorry. The moment you start doing this for the money, guys, I hate to break this to you, you're not gonna last. You're not gonna last a month on this, okay? I mean, what do you guys think? Most of the rappers out there, and I'm not starting a beef or whatever, and this is true story. Most of the rappers don't last very that long because they have zero passion for the music itself. All they care is the money, basically the luxury life. I mean, I can tell that you're very passionate on what you're doing, and I believe that's what's gonna make a successful content creator in the future. And I do believe that anyone who's very passionate about what they're doing, believe me, guys, you're gonna go places that you've never imagined.
And then the true people are always going to be behind you, like, following you, supporting you, like, in anything you do. I mean, I have real friends that, like, feel like, upset that I don't actually take the time to actually hang out with them. But I tell them, like, look, I have to do this. I mean, if you actually are my true friend, you would actually support me in what I do. I mean, you would actually be like, okay, I mean, just let me know when you have free time. And
Right, right.
it's just that some people don't understand that. And people nowadays don't know much about Twitch, but if you explain it to them, they're like, "Oh, okay, that's what that is." It's hard to explain. I mean, I even had to go in the classroom for one of my best friends to actually give a speech about streaming and how actually it's not like something that you can do in one day. And it was actually really fun to actually talk to them because some of them thought like that, oh, I could make like $100,000 in one day. I'm like, dude, no,
Nah.
don't think about the money. Think about having fun. That's the most important thing about streaming. For anybody that actually wants to start streaming, don't focus on the money. Don't focus on things like that. Focus on having fun. That's the most important thing. Because I
Just be
mean,
you.
be exactly that. You basically took out the words out of my mouth. Be yourself. Have fun. And then as soon as you do that, people will come in because they see, oh, this guy's actually having fun playing this. Let me go talk to him. And
Right.
practice a lot talking to yourself in the mirror. That's what actually helped me a lot because back then, before I actually started streaming, I was a super shy person. I did not talk to nobody. But now I'm more like, I'm more outspoken. I start talking to anybody I know,
Right, right, right.
anybody that I don't know. I start talking, I start a conversation. And I gotta thank streaming for that because if it wasn't for that, I would still be the shy person that I used to be. But now I'm very outspoken. I'm very talkative, and now basically like I'm a different person.
Exactly. Just everything, man. It's like you literally just guess everything on what I'm about to say, man. And guys, like we're getting a little bit more ranting here and all that, and that's exactly what my podcast is. I want to rant. I want to talk about different things about content creation, entrepreneurial, motivational stuff. So let's get on to the next part. And what type of games do you usually love to stream about, anyways, Lewis?
I mean, most of the time nowadays, I do a lot of battle royales just because I love playing with viewers. So every time new people come in, I'm like, sure, like, why not jump into a game? I mean, I don't mind that. But I mean, what I really want to do eventually is actually start going into the retro games, like the Super Nintendo games and things like that. And eventually, I want to jump into the indie games as well. Indie games are
Right.
actually really, really fun to actually play as well.
Right. I get that. Yeah, there's a lot of good indie games in there, actually. You may not know this, guys, but I myself, I'm a gamer myself. I love the game. I love to play different types of games. I'm into FPS shooter games. I play on PS4. I don't play on PC, so I don't have that type of money yet to afford myself that. So, but it's all good because you know what? If you got console and then you can easily whoop a PC player, then who cares?
All you need is a game console or a PC, and then you should be able to compete no matter what. And if somebody judges you, you should not care if that person judges you. Just be
Oh,
yourself and basically, like, have fun, like playing the games. I mean, don't let nobody bring you down, whatever you do.
spot on, man. Just a quick randomness, man. Is it just me or am I pretty hyped up for the next Call of Duty game coming up this year?
And I'm actually kind of excited because there was rumors going around that they're actually going to use Unreal Engine 5 on this one.
Right,
So
right, right.
I actually did research on that, and my goodness, dude, games are getting so realistic that it almost looks like we're basically playing real life now.
Right. It's like what they did with last year on Modern Warfare 2019, where you could say it got a bunch of mixed reviews on it. Some of them they loved it, some of them they were like WTF.
Mhm. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. Every time I actually get a new game or I actually hear about a new game, I don't care what the reviews of IGN say and everything like that. If I like the game, I like the game. I'm not taking
Right.
opinions from anybody of the top reviewers or anything. I don't care. You may say like, hey, I give the game 6.8. Well, I play it and then I'm like, oh shoot, this is actually a 8.9 game. And the reason why I give it a higher rating is because I love the game. I
Right.
mean, everybody has like their own opinions when it comes to things like
Oh
this.
yeah, exactly.
So
Believe me.
the word I always say is you're your own critic. Basically, like
Right.
you basically decide whether you want to get it or not. It's almost the same thing with movies. You go watch a movie. Hey, I like the movie. Your other friend might say, "Oh, dude, that movie sucked." Well, that's your personal opinion. That's why we have freedom of speech because we actually state our opinions on things
Right,
that we
right.
actually
Facts, man.
like.
Just straight up facts, man. And guys, just do me a quick favor. If you're liking what you're watching or listening on this podcast so far, please, or just go and comment down below what you're liking about this episode so far. If you're hearing some massive value earlier when Louis was talking about the process, the grind of becoming a content creator and all that, just go and let me know in the comments below. Like, let's get to know each other. I mean, my podcast isn't that big yet, but I know there's somewhere out there, and that's why I gotta keep grinding my ass every single day, just getting to know you guys. I know you guys are somewhere out there. If you guys are loving it, just go and give it a like or just send me a review on whatever platform that you listen to this podcast on. Let me just briefly what you said from the very beginning when you're introducing yourself. You said that you also do your own podcast. I believe that your own podcast is called the Reef Podcast. So tell me more about your own podcast. What do you usually talk about on that podcast?
Well, the Reach podcast actually started back in 2020, I believe. It actually started like 2 years ago,
Oh my.
and
So it's still kind of pretty new, basically.
yeah, it's kind of new. And basically, like, the way it started is I just basically started recording a random podcast. And I saw, like, most people actually just do like random chats about, like, just topics and things like that. But I rarely saw podcasts that actually interviewed content creators or
Right.
voice actors or different things like that. So I was like, why not try to do a podcast where we actually interview people and actually expose them, show them, like, show them to the world, show what they're capable of.
Right.
And basically, like, me and my co-host at the time were like, hey, let's try to do this. And he seemed excited about it. Like, I was like, hey, this is a good idea, let's try it out. And to be honest with you, the first episode that we did, I was super nervous because I did not know what to expect. And I was like, a little stuttery, like a little nervous because 2 years ago, I mean, basically I was like, 2020, I was basically like, halfway there on my affiliate journey. So basically, like, I was still kind of like new to it, just doing an introduction of the podcast and talking to everybody, talking to like basically a screen, because with the first episode we were just doing an introduction, so literally just facing on like to myself. It was kind of funny and awkward at the same time, but I mean, that's what started everything. And people are like, hey, we actually like the concept that you guys have, keep at it. And we started interviewing people. We started getting like the big people like really soon, like, like super fast. We started getting indie developers. We started getting voice actors from Call of Duty. It's just insane, dude. I never knew like, that was gonna kick off like that. And I mean, the fact like, that people already like, sure, I would love to be part of it. And so many people like, already told us like, that if we ever need like, sounds for like, our podcast or like, soundtracks and stuff like that, they're willing to do for us. There's like so many connections now that we have because of the podcast.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. The first time I started my podcast, I believe, if I remember correctly, it is back in 2017. I was pretty nervous as hell, and like you said before, I was kind of stuttering, doing some repetitive words. And back then, I was just focusing on the whole audio version, and that was during the time where I'm still not transitioning on YouTube yet. So basically, it's all audio. All I gotta do just record on with Audacity, and I have like a script on my notebook, and I want to say. So pretty much, I was pretty nervous and all that. And from time to time, or should I say, as time as it goes, I'm getting more confident on the camera or even on the microphone itself. And along the line, my audio got a little bit better. So it's just a part of the process of becoming a content creator. Like I said from the very beginning.
I mean, everybody gets nervous before, like, they go on camera because, like, they don't know what kind of people they're going to get. Trust me, I mean, I was one of them. When I started streaming, I mean, I didn't know what to expect. And I mean, I started like everybody with 0 viewers, then eventually got to 1, then to 2, then 5. Like, there was a time, like, even when I became affiliate, that I was averaging 60 to 70 viewers because there weren't that many people going on, like on Twitch and stuff. But I mean, after a while, I mean, when more people start streaming, they actually like, start getting more out there, and there's more streamers, so it's a little tough out there. But hey, that shouldn't discourage. That should actually push you to be like, hey, those people are actually doing better. I should do even better than. It should actually push you to do better. And one thing I should say right now is that I always thank every viewer that comes to my channel. I don't care, like, if you're a streamer that has 1 follower. I don't care if you're a streamer that has no followers. Or I don't care, like, if you're just a viewer. I'm always going to welcome you in my channel. I mean, I don't care who you are. And one thing I always say is that if you try to bully somebody on my channel, you best get out of the room, because I don't tolerate bullying. Like, I'm a big anti-bully person when it comes to actually people like that. So if you actually try to mess with my viewers and everything like that, I'll be looking at the chat. I mean, it may look like I'm actually focused on the game, but I mean, I actually look at my chat like really closely, and I got a lot of moderators that they don't say anything, they stay quiet, and literally, like, they're just watching in case somebody tries to misbehave and everything. And you'd be surprised how many people like we have to ban quietly just because we don't want them to start like any drama or anything like that.
Right, exactly. I get it. I totally get it. I mean, you know what? That reminds me. I remember maybe a year and a half ago, there was this trend going on where a bunch of streamers started to do hate raids and all that, and that's just really immature, guys. Come on.
I mean, for me, I mean, basically, I got actually not hate rated, but I got follow botted twice.
Oh, wow.
And the first time I panicked because I did not know what to do. And thankfully, to one of my friends by the name of Jigsaw26, I contacted him. I was like, dude, I got followed by it. I don't know what to do. Because he did before. So he basically guided me through on what to do and everything. And if it wasn't for him, I would not be able to, like, remove all those follow bots and everything. And then it happened again for a second time. So I was like, okay, enough is enough. I need to find some solution to this. So I went on Google, I researched, and thankfully there was somebody by the name of a Seribot that basically set up like I think that that way actually it detects like if there's follow bots or anything like that. And ever since then, I mean, I have not had issues with any kind of follow bots or anything.
Right.
But to those people that actually organize the hate raids and start being like all racist and hateful to other people, those people need to actually go where they came from, because they're only like causing so much damage. Those people don't understand how much damage like they're causing to like people emotionally and mentally. I mean, some people out there have like mental issues, and they find streaming as a scapegoat to actually get out of the real world and actually be themselves, have fun. I mean, that's what it's all about. But I mean, it's just that those people that come and say, oh, you're so dumb, you're doing this dumb and everything. Hey, do you allow cursing in here or no? I'm gonna say it right now, because
go ahead, man. Like I said, man,
okay,
no filter.
Okay, if you allow cursing, then I mean, sometimes like I get really on the edge of my seat, and I just tell you like
go ahead, man. I should have told you from the very beginning. There's a no filter podcast, so bring it on, man.
Okay, so usually like I don't say this much on the stream, but when something really pisses me off, I usually go tell those hate raiders or anything like that, hey, go fuck yourself. Like, really. I mean, you don't have a right to come in my channel and start doing things like that. And one thing I do not tolerate as well is the people that come and say like, hey, follow me, I'll follow you back.
Hell
and like,
no.
It's like, why would I want to do that? Like, okay, you come to my channel to watch me. You should only be able to engage with me, follow the rules, follow everything that's going on. And eventually I'll be like, hey, so you're a streamer, right? And then I'll come check you out. I mean, whenever I can. But I mean, some people get so into their shells and they say like, oh, well, you should come check me out too. I'm checking you out right now. Well, dude, I mean, you and so many million streamers. I mean, there's so many things I can do. I mean, some people think like, that just because I have so many followers and everything like that, they think like, oh, he has to come watch me. He has to come watch me. He has so many followers. Dude, I mean, I'm just a normal streamer. I mean, like everybody else.
Exactly.
And people don't understand that nowadays. Like, they think like, oh, he's a big shot. He has all these followers. No, dude, I'm just a human being, just like anybody else. Some of the big streamers are so down to earth. Like, you just have to talk to them. I mean, yeah, it's hard to get recognized with all the chat scrolling like so fast with so many viewers. But I mean, if they see you more often, they'll actually start engaging with you. I mean, that's what it's all about. And that's how my best friend co-host now came to be. He actually came to my stream as a last resort about this guy. He literally went to a couple of channels before mine, and a couple of them were ignoring him when he was trying to chat. And I was playing Grand Theft Auto 5 at the time, and literally he came to my channel and he started talking to me. He's like, oh, wow, a streamer that actually interacts with me. I was like, yeah, dude. I mean, I interact with all my viewers and everything. So he followed me and he started like, talking to me and everything. He's like, dude, he even told me that day, he's like, if you would not have interacted with me that day, then I would have quit Twitch like permanently. I would have been done with Twitch. I would not basically ever watch Twitch again. And now what he's actually like, oh, it's on my podcast.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, literally, like, if I would have ignored him and basically, like, not even talked to him and everything, then he would have been done with Twitch. I would not have a podcast. I would actually just be like, just myself, still streaming and everything.
Right.
And now he's basically, like I said, my best friend. Like, we always talk, interact with each other. I mean, so shout out to him because, I mean, he's an amazing individual. And shout out to everybody that has come to all the streams out there. I mean, not just mine, but all the viewers that come out there to support us streamers. I mean, thank you for taking the time to actually interact with us and actually make our days better by just talking to us. Because that actually is what makes my day always better. Whenever I get people that come in, they tell me about their day. If they have problems, hey, I'll try to help you out. I mean, if I can. So by all means, always make your viewers feel welcome when they actually come to talk to you.
Fucking spot on, man. Fucking spot on, man. That's basically what I want to hear from different content creators out there. Just I want them to be themselves as much as possible. I don't want them to be this. They have this type of personality where, I mean, don't get me wrong. There are some few content creators that I've watched on Twitch, and the first minute that I watched them, I'm sorry, something's off. I feel like this dude is just acting up, and it's not that I'm hating or whatever. And I forgot what was this guy's name, but he's acting like a gangster, like that's BS. I know that ain't you, bro. Come on, why you're doing this shit to yourself? I don't get it. It's kind of a little bit ridiculous why some people out there, they will go this far to create some sort of a fake persona when all you really gotta do is just be yourself. And believe me, guys, when you're being yourself, you're gonna feel so much better rather than faking yourself and creating that type of personality that you're not even you in the first place. What's the whole point?
See, that's one error that a lot of people make. They think like, oh, he's doing this. Let me do exactly what he's doing so I can actually get people. Right. No, don't do that. Like you said a little while ago, be yourself. Do things that actually are unique about you. Don't try to imitate somebody else just because like that person that you see like, oh, he has 20 something viewers because he's doing this. Well, let me try to do it too. And then like he or she is gonna try to do it. And then what happens? You don't get a result because you're copying somebody else. You're not being yourself. If you're actually being yourself, then you're going to attract a lot of people. But like I said, always stream games that you actually have fun. Don't stream games that are oversaturated with streamers, and it's going to be hard to get recognized out there. Do games that you actually enjoy playing, not the ones that are actually oversaturated.
Exactly. I mean, all I can say, guys, and this is like my little rant advice to any content creators out there starting out. Like, let's say if you want to become like a streamer like Luis here, listen, do not, and I mean, for the love of God, do not, and stop comparing yourself to others. Like, stop comparing yourself to Ninja, stop comparing to me, stop comparing to Pokimane, to any other top streamers out there. Who gives a fuck? Are you asking their permission to be you? I mean, seriously, guys, get the fuck out of here. I told you guys, the Hustle Factory podcast. Well, like I said before, there is no filter in this podcast. I will never censor this podcast, even though many of my friends, they told me, oh, you're going to get butthurt someone. Okay, fine. I mean, like I said, this is how do I say this? This is not really meant for the faint of the heart out there. This is not meant for people who's going to get butthurt and say, oh my gosh, he did not just say that. Oh, yes, I did. And speaking of this whole thing that we've been talking about, toxic people out there, recently, a month ago, I released an episode called #Cancel Toxic Culture. So I talk about why we need to cancel this. I know many years ago, there was this trend, the whole cancel culture thing where they try canceling different types of dumb shit where this Generation Z getting offended about for no damn reason. If they want to cancel that, why can't we cancel toxicity in our life? Why can't we do that?
Here's something. Why don't we just cancel bullies? That would actually help out a lot. Cancel bullies, cancel the hate. Like, the hate in the world, man. I mean, that's the number one thing that I want I want that to be out of the world, completely. Hate is like the most common word nowadays because everybody has to hate somebody for something. And why can't we just be more caring for each other and more united with each other? You realize that if we were actually more united with each other, the planet would actually be in a better place right now. Now everybody's actually hating each other for random reasons, and we can't coexist with each other anymore. That's one thing I miss about the world. The world used to be more united, but now we're actually more diverse, separate, and we're not like we used to be. And if we want our world to actually keep on living strong and everything, we have to be more like there for each other and care for each other.
I agree, man. I mean, like I said before, guys, a month ago, I released that episode called hashtag Let's Cancel Toxic Culture out there. So if you're seeing a massive value in this episode so far, like I said, comment down below. Hashtag cancel toxic culture. Let's just cancel the shit out of that, No more of this toxic culture that people always do in their day-to-day basis, that they're making it look like it's a trend. I mean, come on, get the fuck out of here. I don't want to see no toxicity in anywhere. I don't want to see any toxic people on his streams. I don't want to see toxic people on YouTube comments below. I don't want to see nothing. Let's just cancel that shit. I mean, what are we waiting for? And guys, here's the thing. I know Louis just got out from his work, and I'm pretty sure he's pretty exhausted from his work. So we're gonna try to wrap this episode up as soon as possible. So for me to wrap up this episode, I want to ask him some few more things for the final thoughts. So Louis, here's the thing. What are some of the biggest challenges that you have to face when you're becoming a content creator, or quote unquote becoming a streamer in the first place? And how did you manage to overcome them?
One of the toughest things to have to be as a content creator is actually have a schedule.
Right.
Honestly, having a schedule is tough out there, just because a lot of people think oh, I'm going to stream every day. Every day, will bring me more people. No, dude. I mean, you have to actually have the most simplest thing to actually solve an issue like this is if you are an adult and you're working and everything, have a way to work around work and stream, but don't oversaturate yourself with work, with streaming 7 days a week. You're gonna get exhausted. You're gonna get over mentally drained. You're not gonna find motivation to actually stream. Motivation is actually the key to actually a successful stream. Okay, say I was to stream tonight, you would actually see me super tired because I worked all day. That's the main reason why I don't stream on Fridays and Saturdays, because those are the busy days at the restaurant, and those are the days I work 12-hour shifts. So I canceled that out of the way, and I said, okay, I'm only gonna stream 5 days a week compared to 7 days a week, just because I don't want to actually be all emotionally drained and really tired and everything.
Right.
So that's one thing that definitely helps to actually be a successful content creator. Another thing too is, like I said earlier, go talk to other streamers, become their friend, go socialize with them, get to know them. Don't just come one day, talk to them, and then expect, oh, he's gonna come support me back. It doesn't work like that.
Have some real connections.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Building connections, having genuine friendships. I mean, every time somebody follows me on Twitter, I always message them, thanking them for following me, start talking to them, interacting with them, getting to know them, and then eventually I pop the question, hey, do you stream by any chance? Or what do you do on your spare time? What are your hobbies? And then that's what brings it up. But the people that always follow me just so they can say hey, come check out my stream right now. Well, dude, I mean, I just wanted to get to know you first. The most common answer I get is hey, F you, I don't want to talk to you because you don't want to go check me out. Well, dude, I mean, that's on you. If you actually want to just promote your stuff just because I followed you back and everything like that, you're not a true genuine person. A true genuine person would actually take the time to actually talk to you and interact.
Right, exactly. Hey, the people out there who don't want to make connections and all that, like I said before, guys, you're not going to go that far. You're pretty much just wasting your time and money and all your effort for absolutely jack shit,
Oh, consistency. Keep a consistent pattern with the games you're playing. For me, I mean, right now I don't do it, but I mean, when I did it before, I mean, I'm trying to get back to it. I usually do multiplayer games Mondays and Tuesdays, and then I used to do retros on Wednesdays just because it matches with the name Retro Wednesday, and always come up with really nice ideas for your stream. Sometimes just have a just chatting session. Sometimes
Right.
talk with your viewers and interact with them. It doesn't have to be just games all the time. And by all means, also create clips on your channel. You may not have people watching you, but if you actually have social media like TikTok, Snapchat, all these things, Instagram, Twitter, by all means, grab things from your videos. If you can't grab anything, then this is what you do. If you're actually working, save some a little bit on the side and be okay, this I'm actually going to use for a laptop, so that way I can actually edit my videos, put my content out there,
right.
And that's how people grow. I mean, they basically put their content out there, they put their clips, And I believe it or not, I was stubborn before. I would not put any clips out there for people to see before. Because I mean, I used to be private about my streams and stuff. Basically now I go to TikTok, upload on TikTok my clips that I have on Twitch and everything.
Right.
What's that getting me? Is getting me more people to come in and they're like, hey, I know you from this, I know you from that. That's how you grow. I mean, that's another way to grow. And some people think like, well, what if I can't post on TikTok and everything? Then just like I said, do consistent schedule, interact with other streamers. That's another thing. And then always look at YouTube guides. YouTube guides help me a lot too. And then, like I said, build friendships. Don't just think that because you go watch somebody for one day that they're gonna come watch you the next day. It doesn't work like that. Because I mean, some streamers out there, they may think like, oh, he came watch me one day, and then like, if they see that you keep coming more often, then eventually they'll start getting to know you better. I mean, it's just common sense. I mean, that happens. After a few days, they'll be like, hey, I know you. How you been? Like, they'll actually start building a connection with you, and then eventually you could probably bring the word out, like, hey, yeah, I was thinking about starting streaming. How can I do this? And then they'll advise you and tell you like, look, you can start by doing this, doing that. But if you say the first get-go, like, hey, I'm a streamer, how you doing? Can you shout me out? Can you do this? I mean, other streamers, they might actually ban you on the spot or time you out and stuff. For me, I always shout out. I mean, that's just like my personal preference. Anybody that comes to my stream, I always shout out just because I like to actually show exposure to other streamers out there.
Right. I get it. Yeah, man. I mean, so far, Lois is just pointing out some incredible massive value out there. Like he's pointing out some of his challenges that he's been through and how he was able to overcome them. All I'm trying to say is, guys, is that whatever challenges that you're going through right now, just know that just stay strong and just keep doing what you're doing, and you'll eventually gonna be able to overcome them. So
that's the number one thing that you shouldn't do. Never give up. That's like the number one thing. If you have one viewer for a week, don't give up. Because there's so many people out there that have no viewers whatsoever and they still stream for the fun of it. If you actually quit within 1 week because you only have one viewer and that's you only watching, then streaming is not for you. Then you should actually go find another hobby that you want to do and stuff like that, because that's what it is. I mean, it's almost like a hobby. I mean, that's how I treat it. I mean, for 4 years as an affiliate, I still treat it as a hobby. Like, I'm just doing it for fun and everything. But I mean, don't get me wrong, if it becomes financially like, really well that I can actually support myself with this, then yeah, by all means, I'll call it a job and stuff. But I mean, for now, it's just a hobby.
So would you say that will be your ultimate goal, is to become a full-time Twitch streamer?
I think that's every content creator's dream one day, like to actually become a full-time content creator. And if that ever happens, by all means, I mean, I'll be grateful, I'll be thankful, and I'll keep grinding. I mean,
I believe anyone can do it. They just gotta put the mind into it. And other than that, here's another thing I forgot to say. Any content creator out there who has a 9-to-5 job and they're doing this on the side, listen, I have massive respect on you guys, because even though you're doing a shitty 9-to-5 job and you're still streaming or you're still doing a content creation, whatever it is, huge, massive respect on you guys. Don't fucking give up. I know sometimes there are 9-to-5 jobs out there that feel shitty as hell. Like, for example, if you're working on a restaurant like McDonald's and all that, I know those places aren't always the greatest places to work, but guess what? They give you something to eat. They provide you the money that you needed for your streams and so on. Basically, you gotta do whatever you can to make it happen.
You can achieve everything you want if you only put a little bit of effort in it.
And you know what, Louis? Here's what I want to ultimately ask you, and I think this is probably the most important question of all this interview episode. Would you say pursuing something that you're very passionate about is worth it or not?
It is. I mean, if you actually have a passion for gaming and a passion for streaming and everything like that, just keep following it. I mean, don't give up on it. I mean, come on, like, it's almost like a job, or like, if you actually are an actor or an actress, you want to be the most successful actor out there. You don't want to just be like a common actor. You want to be like, out there, like showing your full talent, your full potential. So don't like, just sit there and like, wait for everything to fall in your lap. Go out there. I always say, think about a ladder. You start at the bottom of a ladder, and then as you go up, you keep climbing like that. You may stumble sometimes because there's sometimes obstacles in your life. Sometimes you actually get to like, to a certain point and you think you reach, like, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm at the top. I actually reached partner status on Twitch. I'm saying an example. But no, you shouldn't stop there. You should keep growing, because the ladder never stops. I mean, yeah, you may reach the top sometimes, but that's not the very top. You always want to actually be successful. I mean, no matter what you do. I mean, that's what some people think. They think like, oh, I reached partner status, I'm done. Like, I'm successful. No, it doesn't stop there. You want to keep climbing up. And that's like almost any sports as well. Just because you won the FIFA World Cup or the Super Bowl doesn't mean like, you stop. I mean, look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been around in the NFL for so many years, and he's still not happy with all the Super Bowls he's won. Why? Because he wants to be the best there is. He wants to actually show that he can still win until he actually can't no longer. So that's what I'm trying to tell all the viewers listening out there. Do not give up on your dreams. Keep climbing up, and eventually you'll reach the top, but it's not going to be anytime soon, and keep pushing for it.
Exactly. And I believe one of the main reasons why people aren't able to pursue their own dreams and passion is because of their own insecurities, or should I say they're very concerned about other people's opinions about that. Like, who gives a shit?
Exactly. Don't let people judge you for who you are. Like if somebody actually came up to me and said like, "Oh, you're streaming, but you're Spanish," or something like that. So I mean, why should I care what you think? I mean, if you actually think I'm Spanish and I shouldn't succeed, why should I take your opinion to heart? I mean, while other people actually find me funny and everything like that, you'd be surprised with how many trolls come to every channel out there to just get on your head. And believe me, at first they would get me when I started streaming. But I mean, eventually I started learning like, okay, this is a troll. This is an idiot that just wants attention, stuff like that.
Right.
So that's when you actually learn from that, and you actually learn to coexist so that you easily ignore it. And then like eventually like, hey, I want to be your friend. Oh, now you want to be my friend after I actually ignored you, huh? Like, and then learn from the mistakes. Don't get me wrong. Some people do learn from the mistakes, but I mean, sometimes you get those people that just want attention, like grab your attention constantly, and eventually you're like, okay, I had enough. Like, I don't want to deal with you anymore.
Believe it or not, guys, if you haven't realized it yet, haters is just another word for jealous haters.
Jealousy is not the best thing to have, man. I mean, there's so many people out there that feel jealous just because you're doing better than them. That's not gonna cure you. That's gonna make you even more depressed and more sad.
Exactly.
So, and jealousy is so painful to watch and everything. I mean, sometimes like, when I actually go to work and I tell them that I had a wonderful stream, this happened and everything like that, they're like, oh yeah, great, congratulations. Like, they're all mad and stuff. I'm like, wait, are you jealous that I actually did good on something that I actually enjoyed? Oh no, it's okay. I'm like, man, I mean, I'm sorry if you feel like, that you basically have to be here, like, doing this and everything like that. I mean, I wish I could actually help you feel better and everything.
Right.
And it's just hard, man. I mean, that's the world nowadays. I mean, back then, like I said, the world was more, now everybody takes everything to heart, and they should actually be more like, like they're actually a little too sensitive nowadays, when they should actually be more strong and more determined to do things.
I believe we gotta have more humility to ourselves. Let's just have more empathy instead of being a bunch of douchebags for no reason.
Don't let nobody actually tell you like, oh, like you're so different than me. Like, don't stood up to their level. Like, if they actually make fun of you, don't go down to their level because they make fun of you. Look ahead and just don't let nobody judge you for who you are. If you are out there and somebody judges you like that, then just ignore them. That's the best thing you can do. Don't ever try to talk to them, try to fight them or anything like that, because that's only going to bring more problems into your life.
And you know what, guys? If you're listening to this episode right now, and you happen to be one of those guys, here's what I'm going to tell you guys. You guys are the biggest damn losers here. See what I mean by no filter podcast, guys? Lastly, I remember while I was watching you stream and you were talking about you have this goal of getting to TwitchCon and all that. Basically, if a random person just pops into your head and just say, oh, I recognize you on Twitch. You're that guy, LuisIPA.
To tell you the truth, it already happened a few times over here where I live, that people actually recognize me from Twitch. So it's getting out of hand, because in my city, we only have around almost 200,000 people. So it's not that much. So basically, like, everybody knows everybody somehow.
Right.
And my most listeners on my podcast are actually from where I live. So every time, like, I go around and walk and everything like that, oh, you're the guy from the Reef podcast, or you're the guy from Twitch, right? Yeah, it's me. Like, because I mean, it's just like, weird to actually like, like that Twitch is now not getting to that point. And the fact that people are, but I mean, it feels good, but I mean, it's just awkward sometimes. But I mean, if somebody were to come to TwitchCon this October in San Diego and tell me like, oh, you're LuisIPA, hey, by all means, I'll take pictures of you, that's fine, and everything like that. I don't mind. But I mean, it's just that when you get those people like, I'm trying to shop here, I'm trying to do this, like, just, I mean, believe it or not, dude, when I go out nowadays, I have to actually wear sunglasses so they don't actually know who I am. It's kind of scary now.
Oh man, you still don't want that celebrity status yet, I guess.
I mean, by all means, if it gets to the celebrity status that people actually start sending me like, mail, or they actually are outside my door trying to take pictures, if it gets to that point, I'm not gonna let the ego take over me. I'm still
Right.
gonna be the same Louis that I started with. I'm not gonna let it. And by all means, my parents are like that. They're like, if you let your ego get to your head, then we're gonna be there to actually get you down from like up there and actually put you down to like the level that you started at. So I have parents that actually have morals and they actually know what they want from me. And they're like, if you let the fame get to you, we're actually gonna be there to drop your fame so that way you actually go down like and not be a asshole or be a jerk, right? Because that's one thing that I'm actually afraid of. I'm afraid that eventually it's gonna get to the point that I'm gonna be an asshole to people, but I don't want to be that. I'm actually trying to like stop myself from being that because I'm generally a nice person. I'm always let everybody feel welcome, like no matter what, in my
Right.
stream, and treat everybody respect. Now, if you come to my channel disrespectful to my viewers, then yeah, that's actually when I'll be like really a jerk to you.
But yeah, that's what I was asking earlier. If a random person just seen you on TwitchCon and they ask you, "Hey, Louis, what would you advise me if I want to start streaming?"
I would tell you to like just have fun and play a game that actually you enjoy playing. Like I said earlier, don't ever play a game that has so many people in it. Because I mean, yeah, I play Fortnite, which is a very popular game, but that's because I started like liking the game. I was like, okay, it's a fun game. I mean, it's a battle royale. It's cross-platform. I can play with viewers, which is what makes me like enjoy it even more because I get to know more people. And by all means, I mean, there's so many games out there, but I mean, yeah, I get serious sometimes with it because I mean, like, I get a competitive edge sometimes. But I mean, overall, I enjoy the game. And sometimes, yeah, I get frustrated with the game, but I mean, that's just everybody, like, no matter what games they play.
Hey, that's just part of gaming, guys. When you get too serious, you get sweaty, and then when you get sweaty, then hey, shit happens.
Okay, I may get like, a little edgy when it comes to like, competing or anything like that, but I'm not gonna grab my controller and yeah, I actually control my rage. Before when I was growing up in high school, I did broke a few controllers and I was not happy about that.
Especially if they happen to be very expensive controls.
Yeah, that's the one of the main reasons why I don't want to do it because PlayStation 5 controllers are like $70. I'm not willing to risk like to break a controller like that.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought any Call of Duty game will make you rage all day long, but I realized something when I was growing up as a child, and I love playing this game, and to this still very day, if I even have the chance, Mario Kart.
Mario Kart is fun, man. I actually enjoy Mario Kart. I know you mentioned Call of Duty and everything, but believe it or not, Call of Duty is the main reason why I actually have gray hairs because I used to rage like bad. Like, it got to literally like, mature only vocals, like literally yell out of the mic and everything. But I mean, that was before I started streaming. After when I started streaming, I was more like, calm about it. I was more relaxed. And that comes with age too. The older you get, the more you're relaxed about it. But if I ever were to actually join a professional esports team for competing and everything like that, by all means, I will get competitive with it.
Just a random question, man. Your favorite Call of Duty of all time?
Ooh,
Mine will be BO1.
Black Ops 1? For me, it has to be a tie between Modern Warfare 2 and I would say Black Ops 2. Those two actually are really good. I mean, Modern Warfare 3 was also fun because that's when they
Right.
introduced the Call of Duty Elite. And that's when they introduced the clan. Me and my buddies, like Ivan and a couple other friends, we were like, hey, we should actually start a clan. And we started a clan. It was called Louisianimals back then. And literally, like, we were competing. And it got to the point that eventually we did get, like, compensated for it. Like we started getting calling cards. We started getting like, a couple other things. So I was like, dude, this is actually
Right.
fun. And that's the joy of playing games. I mean, you get so many rewards for doing that, especially when you're playing with your friends. When you play with your friends, any kind of game, it's always a fun time, no matter what.
I mean, I tell you what, many Gen Zs out there, they will never able to experience the golden age.
I agree.
I remember when I first time played Black Ops 1. Holy shit.
I started with Call of Duty 4. So, I mean, that was actually really slow. Like, when I actually play Call of Duty 4 remastered nowadays, I'm like, my goodness, this is how slow Call of Duty was. And now, basically, like, it's everything like so fast paced that you have to be so quick.
You'll notice the gameplay changes from your Call of Duty games and so on. Yeah, I definitely agree. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of this episode, guys. I want to go and just wrap this up by just go ahead and thanking Luis on being on the show. I know he just got out from work, and I bet you must be really exhausted. And
I'm exhausted, but I had to be here because it was long overdue. So shout out
right,
to
right,
you for having me here. For those of you
right.
guys that have not checked out my dude's podcast right here, definitely drop a like, subscribe to his YouTube because I said so. I'm just saying right now, you guys need to subscribe to his channel. He's a wonderful individual, definitely worth checking out. He might actually be able to interview you guys one day. I mean, he seems like a really genuine guy, so definitely throw him a subscribe little thing, turn notifications on for his channel, drop him a like, do everything you can to help out this guy because I got a feeling that you're gonna go far, dude. So just keep grinding.
Hey man, like I said, I'm not going anywhere yet. And speaking of that, guys, where can you listeners can check you out? Where can they follow you? Where can they basically get to know you?
I would say the most common thing for me would be go on Twitter and go on Twitch. That's like the easiest way to find me. Because I'm always on Twitter, I'm always on Twitch, almost 24/7, believe it or not. I mean, yeah, I may be laying down and everything like that, but if I get a notification, I try my hardest to like respond as fast as possible.
Right.
So basically, like, it'll be twitch.tv/Luis, LuisIPA. And then for Twitter would be twitter.com/LuisIPA07. Sadly, they could not let me have LuisIPA on Twitter because it was already taken. And that upset me a little bit. Yeah, I was a little upset because there is a LuisIPA out there. I don't know who it is, but I wish they would actually delete their Twitter so I can actually get the name. But yeah, once again, shout out to all my people from the Reef Discord, from the Reef podcast. I could say so many names out there because I mean I have so many people, but shout out to Elset, shout out to Jigsaw, shout out to Jasmine, shout out to Mr. Clouds. There's like I said, I mean there's so many Discords, like all the people that I know, like if I were to name all the people that I would know, we would be here all night. Just because it's a giant list of people. It's almost like a Christmas list of like full of names, like from different people. But shout out to all the people that I have met over the years on Twitch. And shout out to all the people that helped me design my channel to look really amazing nowadays. Because if it wasn't for the moderators, if it wasn't for the viewers, if it wasn't for like the people that always come support, and if it wasn't for like the artists that have patience to actually do stuff for us streamers.
I agree. But you know what? I may not know who are those people who are helping you but whoever they are, they must be a bunch of amazing group of people who helped you out to get you where you are right now. So shout out to all of you guys out there. You guys can also easily connect with us on our socials as well, on our Twitter at H Factory Podcast, or on my Twitter as well at John Limdimas. I'll go and link all the description. Basically everything what we've talked about, I'll go and link all that in the description. That way you get to connect with me and with Luis as well. And who knows, if you're bored as hell and you're looking for another new content creator to bench, hey, go ahead and check Luis out on his Twitch channel. I promise you wouldn't be disappointed. I mean, like I said, I've been watching him stream a lot lately, and I really enjoyed it and so on. And
I appreciate that, man.
Hey, no worries, man, no worries. I mean, and as I said before, you can also, and other than that, guys, that is the end of the Hustle and Cheers series with LuisIPA. I really appreciate for your time again, Luis.
No problem. You have a good night, okay?
All right, you too, Luis. Have a great night, man. I'll see you next time.